Don't bet on The Last of Us 3, warns Neil Cuckmann. This could be it. Welcome to Jay's Gamepad, everybody, and wagwan. First and foremost, I'd like to ask you, could please like, subscribe and hit that bell notification if you like this video or any of my content. Much appreciate you. Let's get into this video. So Neil Cuckmann did an interview recently, and it was a very interesting interview because he was asked a certain question and his answer kind of highlighted all the things that I had said about him, Naughty Dog, and The Last of Us Part 2. So do you know what? Let's just get into this article. Don't bet on The Last of Us 3, warns Neil Cuckmann. This could be it. Now, that title is kind of out of context because basically, if you don't know the question he was asked, then you won't really get what that heading is alluding to. Now, basically, this is in response, to him talking about The Last of Us Part 2, the HBO series, which is dropping real soon. And he was asked a question in regards to, is there going to be a Last of Us Part 3? And he responded, quote, "I was waiting for this question. I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being any more Last of Us. This could be it." End of quote. Now, I wanted to basically just talk about the reasons why that he is saying this. Now, I did my Googles because previously I tried to find certain information, I couldn't find it, so let's do the Googles. I did the Googles. I wanted to find out how much The Last of Us Part 2 budget was. I managed to find these numbers: $220 million, making it one of the most expensive AAA games in history. You know what I'm saying? The game was not cheap to make, and you can clearly see where a lot of the money went to. I can't cap. The game looks phenomenal, it sounds phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Certain aspects of the game looks really good, and I can't cap. But when I wanted to find out how much the game sold, it sold over 10 million copies up until 2022. Now, I was looking for current figures because we're in 2025 right now. Can't find them. Then I wanted to try and find out how much money that they made. And do you know, if you go online and you do your Googles, you will not find how much the game made in terms of money, revenue, income. You can't find it. Now, I tried to do some quick little math, and that is basically, we know it sold 10 million copies. Each copy is worth £60, $60. Times that, we get $600 million / pounds, whatever. But these are not precise figures. Now, I always thought and said that Last of Us Part 2 split the fan base into two. You had a lot of fans on the left that loved it for nefarious reasons, and some of it might have been because they generally loved the game, but I think a lot of that was just the gaming access media with their tongue in each other's arses in their echo chambers and echo bubbles. Where I go on with that. Pause what? I don't get down like that. You know what I'm saying? And on the right hand side, you had gamers like myself who was a big fan of The Last of Us Part 1, such a beloved game that I loved with all my heart and soul. It was one of my favourite games of all time. To be honest with you, it still is. Even though Last of Us Part 2 has tarnished it a little bit, it still is. But you had a bunch of gamers like myself that loved the first game so much, that had such high expectations when it came to the second game. And the fact that Neil Cuckmann couldn't understand that the reason why a lot of gamers, or should I say the majority of the gamers, loved the first game was because of Joel and Ellie, because of the characters, because of the story, because of the plot points. That's the main reason why people love that game. Everything else is secondary, you know what I'm saying? The world building is beautiful, but everything else is secondary. I couldn't find figures, hidden figures. That's what I was saying before. Hidden figures, hidden numbers, hidden figures. Why is it, yeah, that if a game did so well, why is it that we can't find the numbers? Why is it we can't find the figures? You could type in, you could do your Googles and type in, I don't know, how much did my favorite game make up until 2025, and you will probably find them. But when it comes to Naughty Dog and Last of Us Part 2, you can't find these numbers, which always told me that the game didn't make as much money as we are led to believe.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
Now we all know that Naughty Dog, they bow to their masters, you know what I'm saying? Sony is their master and Naughty Dog is just their dog. They do what the master says. That's the relationship. You know what they say? Man's best friend. That's Naughty Dog, but Naughty Dog's being very, very naughty, you know what I'm saying? Because they try to come with this woke agenda, this BS, and it didn't work. Because it's all fine and dandy when everyone else agrees with your opinion that's in your echo chambers, in your fucking bubble, you know what I'm saying? And everyone has the same thought pattern, everyone's shook to have a different opinion or to go against the grain or just to stand up and say, no, I actually don't like that, or I don't agree with that, and this is the reason why. It's all good when you're in that little, you know, ecosystem, but the real world is the real world, and the majority of people don't give a shit about all that woke bullshit. We just don't. All us gamers and consumers care about is value for money, make a good product, and when Neil Cuckmann lied out of his goddamn teeth.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
Manipulating with trailers, making you think that Joe and Ellie actually went on a journey. Joe caught up to Ellie and saved her ass, when all along he got killed in the first half an hour or 45 minutes of the game with a fucking golf club, and turned Ellie into some fucking dumb bitch. Of course, like gamers like myself are not gonna trust a lot that he's saying. Now you got a lot of, like, you know, YouTubers and people out there that are like doing hit pieces and videos talking about, oh my god, The Last of Us Part 3 isn't gonna happen. I'm just gonna say this. This individual has a track record of lying through his goddamn teeth.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
This individual has a track record of sitting there with so-called artists talking about, if you don't like this game, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're X, Y, and Z.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
This company and this fucking individual has a track record of lying and saying, oh yeah, we didn't know, we didn't strike these channels, when the company they hired were striking these channels down, and they knew the whole time.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
But yeah, I'm meant to 100% believe that we ain't getting The Last of Us Part 3. And the reason why I'm saying that, yeah, is because I can understand how people, gamers and people will think, oh yeah, it's probably not going to happen because they fucked up with The Last of Us faction, the multiplayer game. God knows how much money they pumped into that. Again, I tried to go online and try and find numbers and try to do the math. You can't find numbers to do any math. You know what I'm saying? So God knows how much money they waste when it came to factions.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
When I think about that, I just think to myself, okay, I can understand why Sony's probably thinking, you know, yeah, we're taking major hits trying to like chase this, you know, like this dragon, this multiplayer online dragon, you know, and Naughty Dog has like basically wasted a lot of money with this faction. And not to mention that I don't think that they made as much money as they are claiming that they did with Last of Us Part 2. So I can see the argument for why people really think that Last of Us Part 3 isn't gonna happen, but I just don't believe Neil Cuckmann because I think he's full of shit. I just don't believe him. I don't respect him. I don't respect him as a man. I don't respect him as a artist. I don't respect him as a creator. I don't respect him as a studio head. I just don't respect him because everything he does is a contradiction. You know, like he says one thing and does the other. And I just think when you think about The Last of Us Part 3, we all know, yeah, that like eventually Last of Us Part 3 is gonna happen. Now, Last of Us Part 2 was pretty open-ended. Like certain things were left like open, unsaid, undone, I guess. You know, there's question mark on it. And I believe that the majority of the gamers, us gamers who buy games with our hard-earned money, I think the people who have the right to have the loudest voices when it comes to our opinions on these games that we buy, you know what I'm saying? I believe the majority of us basically said, go fuck yourself, this is a piece of shit. And I don't think Naughty Dog and Sony made the money that you think that they did. So I think right now they're focusing on Last of Us Part 2 HBO series. The first season was good. I can't cap, I actually enjoyed it. I don't know what's going to happen with season 2. We're going to see where I go on. Are they going to split into two seasons so we get 3 seasons? Maybe, possibly. It's a possibility because the second game was long as fuck. And the second half, you know, playing with Abby was not a good experience. I don't even want to think about that. That really did my head in. I played a game twice, you know that. Fucking hell. Anyway, the point is here, you can see I'm still traumatized. But the point is here is that they're focusing on the HBO series, and that's more of a good thing, like a positive thing. Was it kind of a kick in the teeth because, you know, Neil Cuckmann has had the creative freedom and the creative license to do exactly what he wanted to do with Last of Us Part 2, tell the story that he wanted to tell. And I think it's a bit annoying that, you know, you hear him say stuff like, oh yeah, well, you know, I can do things with the series that I couldn't do in the game. What? What are you talking about? It's bullshit. That's what I'm saying. He's full of shit. You know what I'm saying? So look, I get why Sony's probably thinking, no, you wasted bare peas. Last of Us Part 3 right now, or maybe during the PlayStation 5 generation will not be coming out. But I do think in the future we could possibly get a Last of Us Part 3, maybe PlayStation 6, maybe that generation. You know, when people and gamers have kind of forgot about the traumatic experience of The Last of Us Part 2. You know, but the point I just want to make here is that the narrative is that a lot of people seem to believe the fact that Last of Us Part 3 isn't going to happen, and I do agree with that in the immediate future. But I think in the distant future, I think we will get Last of Us Part 3, and fuck knows what Neil Cuckmann is going to do when it comes to that. Yeah, I'm dreading that. I don't even know where they're going to take the story, you know, because right now I don't like a lot of characters. I really don't. So I don't know, man. But listen, let me know your thoughts, opinions, or feelings in regards to, do you believe what Neil Cuckmann has said in regards to there isn't going to be a Last of Us Part 3? Or are you more with my train of thought where it's not going to happen now anytime soon, but it will happen in the future? Because come on now, like I can imagine that Naughty Dog and Neil Cuckmann at some point is going to want to make a third game and complete the trilogy. Even though I would have just been happier if he would have just left The Last of Us Part 1 and just made it like, you know, just kept it as a standalone game. Like that game was godlike. And I would have been happy if they made the PlayStation 5 version like they did, like just remake it. I would have been happy with just that. But he had to go make Last of Us Part 2 and retcon bare bullshit and fuck up certain characters and whatever, just because of his woke ideology. And, you know, he's got certain people whispering in his ear, you know, and sticking their tongues up his a-hole.
Pause what?
But yeah, is what it is. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, opinions, or feelings in regards to what I've just said. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you like this video or any of my content. You can also hit me up on the social, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, Jay's Gamepad across the board. You ain't got to type, tap, press, anything else but that. And also, if you want to find me or hit me up on PlayStation, my game name is MrGhostProtocol. So I guess I will see you and speak to you real soon.